So as a fourth and brief final example, we're going to look at an example around community engagement. And so this scenario is one we get questions about a lot, which is from health agencies that would like a public-facing mapping tool to help with communicating information with the public. So in this case, we'll look at a state health system, such as in Hawaii, that's been tasked with providing a public-facing mapping tool connecting food access to the built environment. So for this example, instead of going to PolicyMap, we'll go right to the public-facing tool that we created for them. So this is a public tool that is a mix of community characteristics data from PolicyMap, as well as local state-provided community assets data, such as transportation, homeless shelters, food banks, food pantries, et cetera, which was provided by the Department of Health in Hawaii. And you can see this tool has been embedded in their site. They have some contextual information below it, and then also some additional kind of program information and overview related information below. And so the map is really helping to supplement all the messaging going on the website. So I'll just zoom in to Honolulu, a place we all probably wish that we were this afternoon. But now when I click on New Map, you'll be able to add and change data to the map. So you can see when I click on transportation, there's a lot of different transportation options that they provided. You can see they selected certain health-related indicators here. We also created custom poverty cut points that reflect the SNAP eligibility guidelines in the state. So they wanted these different poverty thresholds. So now if I zoom in, you can see this is the estimated percent of families at less than 185% of poverty, because this is their SNAP eligibility guidelines there. And then we could overlay existing food pantries, existing food banks, and other resources on the map as well. For example, here we can look at food pantries again. So this was data provided by one of their partners at the University of Hawaii. So we can see, just zoom in a little, where the food pantries are located. And in the legend, if we wanted to be able to switch from percent of families to a number, so we can actually get a sense of how many families below the at less than 185% of poverty live in the area, we can click to number, and then we can click on an area and see the specific number of families at that poverty level. And we'll also see which pantries are currently available to them. So this is helpful for their planning purposes and also as a way of communicating this information to the public. You're also able, just to give you a sense of some of the other data that they chose to provide, as I mentioned, you can put some of the transportation layers that are local to the islands on, and they selected some other data as well, like homeless shelters they provided, so they wanted schools, that type of thing. So this is an example of how we can merge, PolicyMap data with some local data in a public-facing tool.